Stephen Colbert's late night show is gone. CBS announced this week that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will end in May 2026. This isn't just one show finishing, it's the end of the Late Show franchise entirely on CBS. The network says it's purely a financial decision. But hold on. The timing of this announcement has everyone asking tough questions. I'll give you the full details on what's really behind this at the end of the video, so make sure you watch until the very end. You're not going to believe it. CBS executives are sticking to their guns, calling this an agonizing decision and a purely financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. They claim it has nothing to do with the show's performance, its content, or anything else happening at their parent company, Paramount. And honestly, the late-night TV business is facing some tough times. The audience for these shows has been shrinking for years. People are cutting the cord, and young adults are just not tuning into traditional TV at 11:30 p.m. anymore. Instead, they're on social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok, watching short clips whenever they want. This massive shift has caused ad revenue to plummet. In 2018, network late-night shows pulled in about $440 million in ad money. By last year, that figure dropped by 50% to about $220 million. That's a huge hit to the bottom line. Running a late-night show like Colbert's is incredibly expensive. You're talking about hundreds of staff members, from writers to camera operators to musicians, plus the cost of a big studio production. Even though Colbert's show was the #1 late-night show for the past 9 seasons, averaging about 2.4 million viewers in the last quarter, significantly more than its rivals Jimmy Kimmel Live and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, it was still reportedly losing money. Some reports suggest the show was losing around $40 million a year. That's a lot of cash, even for a top-rated program. CBS has already shown a willingness to step away from late night. They ended James Corden's Late Late Show in 2023 because it wasn't profitable. They tried a cheaper replacement, Afternight, which also recently wrapped up. So, from a pure business perspective, exiting the late-night game entirely could be seen as a way for CBS to stop the bleeding. But here's where the official story starts to unravel. There's a much bigger game being played. Just days before Colbert's cancellation announcement, something else happened that set off alarm bells for a lot of people. CBS's parent company, Paramount, agreed to pay Donald Trump about $16 million to settle a lawsuit. This lawsuit was over an interview 60 Minutes did with Kamala Harris. Trump had claimed the interview was deceptively edited to make Harris look better. Paramount's own lawyers had called this lawsuit completely without merit. Stephen Colbert, being Stephen Colbert, didn't hold back. On his show, just 3 days before the cancellation news broke, he openly criticized Paramount for this settlement. He called it a big, fat bribe. He also joked that he was offended and about $16 million would help repair his trust in the company. He even hinted at reports that Paramount's potential new owners might try to pressure him because of his frequent criticisms of Trump. Now, why would Paramount settle a meritless lawsuit for about $16 million? Because Paramount is trying to finalize a massive deal, an about $8 billion merger with Skydance Media. This deal isn't just some handshake agreement, it needs government approval from the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC. And who's in charge of the FCC? Trump's handpicked chairman. Many see this payment to Trump right before the cancellation of his most vocal critic on the network as a quid pro quo. In plain English, they believe it's a way for Paramount to get on Trump's good side, hoping it will make the FCC approve their huge merger. Larry Ellison, the Oracle founder and a major Trump supporter, is investing about $6 billion to help his son's company, Skydance Media, acquire Paramount. The new owners are reportedly keen to please the Trump administration. This is where the financial decision starts to look a lot less purely financial and a lot more political. The news landed like a bombshell. Stephen Colbert himself announced it to his live studio audience, who responded with loud boos. He told them, "Yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of the Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away." He also thanked his team of about 200 people who work on the show, many of whom will now be out of jobs. The reaction from other late-night hosts was swift and strong. Jimmy Kimmel, host of Jimmy Kimmel Live, pulled no bunches, reposting Colbert's announcement and writing something to the effect of, "Love you, Stephen. Fuck you and all your Sheldons, CBS." Jimmy Fallon, host of The Tonight Show, expressed shock and sadness, calling Colbert one of the sharpest and funniest hosts. Seth Meyers praised Colbert as a great comedian and an even better person. Even Andy Cohen, host of What Happens Live, said it was a sad day for late-night television and couldn't believe CBS was turning off the lights at 11:30 p.m. And then there was President Trump's reaction. He celebrated the news on his social media platform, saying he absolutely loves that Colbert got fired and predicted that Jimmy Kimmel would be next. He even called Jimmy Fallon a moron. This public gloating, combined with the timing, only fuels the speculation that the cancellation was politically motivated. Democratic politicians like Senator Adam Schiff and Senator Elizabeth Warren are openly questioning the decision. Senator Schiff, who was actually a guest on Colbert's show the night of the announcement, stated that if the show was ended for political reasons, the public deserves to know. Senator Warren highlighted the timing. CBS canceled Colbert's show just 3 days after Colbert called out Paramount parent company Paramount for its $16 million settlement with Trump, a deal that looks like bribery. She added, "America deserves to know if his show was canceled for political reasons." Many CBS staffers and media observers simply aren't buying the financial decision narrative. They see it as a Trump shakedown and a chilling example of corporate leadership bowing to political pressure. The Writers Guild of America, which represents writers on the show, is calling for an investigation, fearing it was a bribe to curry favor with the Trump administration at the expense of free speech. They point out that Colbert's show was successful, beloved, and profitable. This move sends a very clear message to media companies and comedians: criticize the president at your own risk. It suggests a new, darker chapter for media freedom, where powerful billionaires and presidents are reshaping the landscape, silencing critical voices, and prioritizing financial deals and political favors over independent journalism. It's not just about losing a TV show. It's about a potential decline in open, critical commentary on major broadcast networks. So, how does this shocking turn of events affect you and your investments? While the cancellation of one show might seem small in the grand scheme of the market, it highlights some critical trends for investors, especially in the media and entertainment sectors. First, this underscores the ongoing disruption in traditional media. Linear TV, meaning old school broadcast and cable, is struggling. Audiences are fragmenting, and advertising dollars are rapidly moving to digital platforms. If you're invested in media companies that heavily rely on traditional ad revenue, this is a major red flag. Companies like Paramount, NBC Universal, and Disney are all trying to adapt, but it's a tough fight. Look for companies that have successfully diversified their revenue streams, or those that are investing heavily in streaming services and digital content that actually generate significant money. Second, the controversy around the Trump settlement and the Skydance merger highlights a new layer of political risk in corporate deals. When a multi-billion-dollar merger, like Paramount's about $16 billion deal, requires government approval, it can open the door to political influence. The about $16 million settlement, regardless of its merits, becomes a cost of doing business in a politically charged environment. For investors, this means keeping a very close eye on the political climate and understanding how government regulations and presidential administrations can impact major mergers and acquisitions. This Trump transaction tax, as some are calling it, can erode shareholder value and add unpredictable risks to a company's stock price. Finally, the shift in content consumption points to new investment opportunities. While traditional late-night TV might be struggling, new forms of digital comedy and commentary are thriving. Think YouTube channels, podcasts, and streaming exclusives. Some traditional hosts, like Trevor Noah and Conan O'Brien, have found success with interview-driven podcasts. The future of late night and perhaps even comedy might be in these smaller, more agile, and less expensive digital-first productions. Investors might want to look at companies that are innovative in this space or that own the platforms where these new forms of content are flourishing. Ultimately, the end of Stephen Colbert's Late Show is more than just a TV cancellation. It's a stark reminder of the changing media landscape, the increasing influence of politics on corporate decisions, and the ongoing battle for free speech. For you, the investor, it's a signal to stay informed, adapt your strategy, and understand that in today's world, sometimes politics and media mix in ways that can directly impact your portfolio. That's the truth about what's really happening. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more straight talk on money in the market, and don't forget to ring the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.